And which one is my public address system?
All of them will pick.
You can ask it to stand and then you can put it another question. You can face that way.
Manje uyangikhumula phambi kwabantu.
Another question.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Which one is the one that gives you sound?
Audio testing. My name is DP. Can you please say hello to us in the mic? We are doing a sound test.
Hello, Batubako Alex. Which one give me sound? Yeah.
All of them.
No, for public address.
Right, are we happy to start? Yes. Okay, thank you very much for making the time for this sit down with the Deputy President of the African National Congress, Comrade Paul Mashatile, who is here to engage further with members of the media as part of the media blitz working towards 6 p.m., where the President will then deliver the ANC address to South Africans. The DP will just make a few remarks, after which we will then do a Q&A. Over to you, DP.
Thank you very much, Mahlengi, and very good afternoon to all of you.
Yes, sir.
You can all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm very happy to see all of you here today. As you know, that the African National Congress is planning to celebrate the success of the new government. We believe that the past 100 days have been very successful in our work, and we want to take the opportunity for the President to thank our supporters, to thank the voters who voted in the May election. So that's what we're going to do today. We are very happy about the success because I'm sure all of you will agree that since the setting up of the GNU, the Government of National Unity, the country is stable. There's a stable government that is working. So we are happy about that. There were those who thought that maybe the new government, because it came from 10 parties, there are going to be squabbles and quarrels and so on. But in fact, the truth is that all those parties are working well together. We actually see ourselves as one team. So when we are in cabinet and we are doing our work, we don't say, okay, me, I'm from the ANC, you are from the Patriotic Alliance or the DA. We just say we are a GNU team. All the ministers accountable to the President, and the President is the only commander-in-chief. So he's the one that appoints the ministers, gives them tasks, and then we all account to the President. So if you were to ask me, is the GNU working? The answer is yes, it is. It's a government at work. Will it last 5 years? Yes, of course, because the statement of intent was a foundation that was laid to take us over the journey of 5 years. So that's what we are planning, to work together for the next coming years until we end the term successfully. If there are challenges, we will deal with them. Some of you might even know that 3 weeks ago, the leaders of the GNU met and they agreed that we must have a structure which will be chaired by myself that will look at any issues that needs to be attended to. If there are issues where maybe we don't agree about this or that, that structure will deal with those issues. All the leaders will recommend or propose people to serve in that structure. Our first meeting will be this coming Thursday in Cape Town, where I will meet with all the leaders of the other parties, deal with the issues that they are concerned about, whether it's a Bill-up Act or NHI or any other matter that they may want to deal with. It will come to that. We call it the clearinghouse. So the clearinghouse will be headed by myself. It will make sure that by the time the leaders meet, the issues have been dealt with, so that the GNU must remain stable and focused at work. Thank you very much for coming here. The President will also talk to you later. But we are happy that all is good. Things are working, and we want to make sure that we keep it that way.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. With that, I am going to look for those who wish to fire away. Newsroom, followed by Power.
Thank you very much. It's Zianda Ngobo from Newsroom Africa. You've spoken about the structure called clearinghouse. So there's the issue of issues of policy, but then there's also personal issues such as the DA basically targeting you in your personal capacity, Deputy President. Do you think that that also has the potential to bring about tension within the GNU? But also, do you believe that President Cyril Ramaphosa is right to say that the coalition will outlast him, given the fact that you're going to have an elective conference in 2027, presumably you also have your own ambitions?
Okay, maybe let's take two questions.
Okay, I'll take question.
And then we'll take more later. Yeah?
Nkosinathi Shazi from Power FM News. Mr. Deputy President, since now there's a dispute resolution to speak about the conflicts happening in the GNU, how will the ANC handle the situation between the tensions between DA Federal Chairperson Helen Zila and ANC Gauteng Chairperson Panyaza Lesufi? That, of course, has spilled over to the government of provincial unity, which DA says it doesn't exist. So how is the party handling the conflicts between the DA and the ANC?
DP?
Okay. First question. We are working very well with all members of the GNU. There are no quarrels so far. And the second layer, which I call the clearinghouse, is not just to deal with disputes. In a sense, it's a structure that must deal with issues. For instance, one of the issues we are going to look at as that structure is the hosting of the G20 next year. So we'll discuss it in that structure and advise the leaders on how we think we should manage the G20 as South Africa. So when we're in that structure, we're not dealing about, small quarrels there and there. In fact, the DA in government has not raised any issue about me. Whether they'll raise it at some point, wherever, I don't know, but it's not an issue at the moment. We're focusing on governance. We are all looking at making South Africa work so that our people can benefit. We are happy that we are putting load shedding behind us. We are now pushing to have transmission lines to make sure that this generation is working, transmission is working, infrastructure broadly is working. So we are very focused. So the issues about tensions really don't exist. With Helen Zille and Panyaza, well, I'm sure they will resolve those issues. As far as we are concerned, we said to the government of Gauteng, led by the ANC, if the DA doesn't want to work with you in Gauteng, leave them behind. It's not your problem. And they must not make it our problem nationally, because we are working well with them nationally. It's up to the DA to make sure they work well with our structures in the provinces. We want our structures to work with them, but our structures came to us, Gauteng came to us and say the DA is making impossible demands, and therefore we can't proceed. And we said to them, well, leave them behind. If they are not reasonable, go without them. But doesn't mean that we don't want to work with the DA. All I'm saying that all parties must be reasonable in what they want, in what we do, because, you know, the GNU can't survive if people come with unreasonable demands. So far it's surviving because all of us are mature. We are dealing with issues in a matured way, and it's going to be like that. We will finish the 5 years.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, DP. I'm gonna
Maybe this side.
I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah, but
to the,
Alex,
started on the left, and now I'm proceeding to the right. My brother over there, and then SABC.
Shannon Merrick, Stasi Broadcasting Africa, all protocol observed. DP, it's good to see you are alive, you are in good health, in good spirit. So we are happy to see that ourselves.
Yes.
My question is, the GNU, it took 14 days to negotiate the GNU. It took 30 days to appoint the minister. During those 30 days, the country didn't go into civil war. There was no army general, HOD, DG that overruled the president and said, no, we're going to fight and so on. And workers in government, even cadre deployment, people that are cadre deployment as they call it, they kept the country going. What do you say to those loyal, you know, in another country in Africa, in 14 days there would have been civil war. What do you say to the DGs, the HODs that kept the country going without the politicians?
Okay, because it's a long question, let me do it.
Yes, it's fine.
If I was to answer you in Zulu, I would have said Siyabonga to the public servants. Oh, the guy says I must look this side. Now, I don't know. You will capture me. Okay. No, he was asking me what is my view about the public service. Because in the period where we're negotiating, the government was stable, it was working. I'm saying we thank the public service for focusing, because indeed, going forward, we want to have a professional public service. We don't want to have public servants who are worried about politics. They must leave politics to us. Theirs is to do the work that they are hired to do. And I'm happy that they did that. The country continued to work, the DGs did their work, the chief directors, the directors, everybody. And that's what we want to see going forward. The public service must be professional, must focus on the work. The politicians will deal with the politics. And that's really the future that we want to see in South Africa. So thank you very much, my brother, for that question. We are happy and we thank the public servants. Keep it that way.
Thank you very much, SABC.
Mr. Mashatile, you somewhat paint a rosy picture of the GNU.
Yeah.
The GNU party, the GNU on Friday, reflecting on the GNU, and actually lined up all their ministers to actually count what their success and achievements were. Quite interested in knowing what the achievements of the ANC over these 100 days are. And furthermore, what do you make of the public stance of the line leaders in public in regards to the GNU? Lately, the KZN Provincial Secretary, Mr. Begin Kolo, had called Mr. Mapaila confused individual over the GNU.
Well, let me put it this way, that it's not going to be easy to take the public space away immediately. But it must not worry us. People will always differ in the way they see things. All we need to do is focus on work. You are quite right that the DA ministers were reporting to the DA about what they are doing. Our ministers are also reporting to us about what they are doing. But our approach is that there is one government. And that's why the president, when he speaks today, is going to speak about the success of the government, not the ANC ministers. The success of the government, because the government is not just ANC now. We are 10 parties. So when the president speaks, he'll say the government of national unity has done the following. You are saying, what do I see as an achievement as the ANC? When we went to the election, there was serious load shedding. The country was worried. People didn't want to vote. We have now fixed a lot of things to ensure that 200 days now, no load shedding. And we want to keep it that way. We are fixing ESCOM. We are making sure that there's sufficient generation. We've just finalized the appointment of the transmission company, as you know. They are going to be going out on tenders to get the transmission line. That's 14 kilometers of transmission line that must be installed. It will probably cost about 350 billion rands. That is already in place. Infrastructure, we are looking at Transnet now. New CEO has been appointed. We are looking at freight rail to fix it, roads. So we are at work, and we are going to professionalize the public service, train people, and make sure that we have people in the public service who are fit for purpose. That we do as the government of national unity. The ANC is there, so as the government of national unity succeeds, we as African National Congress will also be able to claim the success of the GNU. If the GNU fails, it means we fail ourselves. So it's important that as the ANC, we must, whilst we will hold our ministers accountable, but the president will hold all ministers accountable of the GNU, because it is in the interest of the ANC for the GNU to succeed.
Thank you very much, DP.
Last one.
This will be the last one. I thought I was rounding off. Yourself, my brother, and Lizelle.
DP, afternoon to you.
This is my brother from Dobsonville. Got a lot of brothers and sisters.
Afternoon to you, DP.
Yes.
As you've already cleared to this platform. DP, I just wanted to check, as a leadership of the organization, and with this GNU, with what is happening, and there are certain members within the ANC and the seniors that are not happy about the GNU. As one of the senior in KZN, he just resigned, and one of the things was this GNU problem. So, what will you say as a leadership of this organization to those that they are not comfortable with this arrangement? What will you say to them? Because now, if it's them, the seniors, what about those that are at the branches? If the seniors, they are not comfortable with this arrangement?
Let's take another one, so we did one. Lizelle.
Molotiki from Times Live. Two questions from me. There's been a lot of talk about succession in the ANC. Even though you haven't opened up the debate as yet, but there's talks now about succession. And it's particularly around you, DP, because the DA has made certain statements around you that they are comfortable to be in partnership with the ANC when you are leading the ANC. Just your reflections on that, considering that you want this GNU to last for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
I forget my second question.
It's okay, it was a long one. Firstly, senior people are not happy. My own approach is that it's not always going to be the case to have 100% agreements. We are a very big organization, so it's not surprising that someone within our own organization might be unhappy about this or that. But we have a discipline of collective leadership. Once we agree, even if I'm not happy, I must go with the majority view. So we're going to persuade those comrades to say, okay, fine, you're not happy, but come. Let's move together, because the discipline requires that no public spats. We come home, you tell us what your issue is, we try and convince you. As we go along, I think many will be convinced that this is the right direction. Lizeka, you are worried about what's going to happen as we go on. There are issues that the DA has. We're really not worried about that. In the ANC, I know the papers have been writing about succession. It's too early. Very, very early. The conference is in 2017. 2027. The conference is in 2027. So it's what, 2 years? 3 years. So I would say it's too early to talk about who's going to be president. Remember, at the moment we are busy rebuilding branches. A lot of our branches are going to BGMs. They are going to regional conferences, and they are going to have provincial conferences. And those are the people who will then start to say, who do they want to lead? So I think we should not rush. We should not rush. Things are working very well. Let's be focused, because often this thing of contestation, it defocuses us. We are focused on the important things now. Let's focus on that. And the ANC is doing very well, and it's leading the GNU very well. Thank you very much for listening to me, for being here. Spread the message that all is well in South Africa.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, DP.
You agree, right?
Yeah, I think there's agreement. Thank you very much. You are adjourned, colleagues. We still are continuing with our media work.